You print out that offer letter. You frame it in your mind. Validation. A ticket to the big leagues. You think they hired you because they have work to do, because they need your brain to solve problems. You poor, sweet summer child. They didn't hire an employee. They rented a Bade sofa. See, the company isn't running a business right now. They are staging a house for sale, and you are the furniture, brought in to make the empty rooms look expensive, to make the investors think the family is happy and growing. The CEO points at you during the board meeting. "Look at our head count," he says. "We are exploding." The stock price jumps. The venture capitalists high-five over sushi. Mission accomplished. But the open house ends eventually. The deal closes. And do you know what happens to the rented sofa? It goes back in the truck. You weren't fired because you failed. You were returned because the show is over. But how do you spot a stage manager in a CEO's suit? Meet the architects of the illusion. They don't wear masks. They wear fleece vests and talk about hyperscaling. To these guys, you aren't a human being. You are a line item on a spreadsheet, a vanity metric aimed at a graph. They know Wall Street algorithms love a hiring spree. More bodies means more growth. More growth means a higher valuation. So they open the floodgates. They post ghost jobs for roles that simply do not exist. Thousands of listings just to simulate a heartbeat. They create a phantom demand. Listings for senior vice presidents of nothing. Sarah from HR isn't ghosting you because she's busy. Sarah doesn't exist. She is a script running on a server in Virginia. But sometimes they actually hire you, and then they let you rot. You sit at your desk for 3 weeks waiting for a login. You play ping pong. You think it's messy bureaucracy. You think they are just disorganized geniuses. Wrong. The chaos is the point. If they give you actual work, you become a risk. If you just sit there, you are an asset. Like a gold bar in a vault or a dusty treadmill in a basement. They are hoarding talent like squirrels hoarding nuts, not to eat them, but to make sure the squirrels across the street starve. They pay you 6 figures to do nothing, just so their competitors can't hire you to do something. It feels like a dream job, free money, until the quarterly earnings call ends, until the IPO launches. Then the math changes. Suddenly that essential headcount looks like bloat. The visionary CEO looks at the payroll and decides to trim the fat. You are the fat. They designed your obsolescence before they printed your badge. Here's exactly how they do it. It starts with the bait. You open LinkedIn, you see the same job posting for the 6th time. Senior Product Ninja, posted 2 hours ago. It looks fresh. It smells like opportunity. But check the timestamp on the original listing. It's been active for 9 months. That isn't a job opening. That is a billboard. Companies leave these ghost jobs up intentionally. Why keep a dead plant in the window? Because industry analysts scrape job boards like hungry raccoons. They count the listings. Company X is hiring aggressively, they write in the newsletter. Buy the stock. The company spent $50 on a LinkedIn post and made $50 million in market cap. That is the best ROI in history, and you spent your Saturday writing a cover letter to a hallucination. Then comes the talent locker. This is for the lucky ones who actually get an offer. Big Tech perfected this move. They hire the smartest engineer from a startup, not to build a product, but to kill the startup. It's defensive hiring, like buying all the batteries before a hurricane. You don't need 50 packs of Duracells. You just need your neighbor to sit in the dark.
They pay you 200 grand to sit in the dark. You write code that goes straight into a digital shredder. You attend meetings about meetings. You feel important, but you are just an expensive paperweight keeping a competitor's desk empty. You are a defensive asset until the storm passes. Then you are just a battery in a drawer, leaking acid. Finally, there is the budget flush. This is middle management survivalism at its finest. A VP has a budget of $5 million. The rule is simple: use it or lose it. If she only spends $4 million, she loses the extra million next year. So she hires you in December just to burn the cash. You are a human receipt, proof of purchase. You walk in, bright-eyed, ready to change the world, but your only job function was to secure the budget. Once the new fiscal year starts in January, the money is locked in, and suddenly you are a poor culture fit. They walk you out with a cardboard box. The VP keeps her budget, you keep the trauma. They treat high turnover like a feature, not a bug. Fresh blood is cheaper than a raise. Why keep a loyal employee who wants a promotion when you can rent a fresh grad who doesn't know the bathroom code yet? It keeps the payroll young and the expectations low. And here's what that actually costs you. So you get laid off, and now you have to explain the gap. You have a 6-month hole on your resume. Prospective employers look at it like a contagious rash. What did you do during this time, they ask. You can't say, I was a defensive asset for a paranoid billionaire. You can't say, I was a human receipt for a VP's bonus. You look damaged because you sat on the bench while the game changed. But the damage starts way before the firing. It starts when you're still collecting the paycheck. You sit there, skills slowly atrophying like a casted leg. You start doubting your own competence. Why aren't they giving me work, you wonder? Am I stupid? No, you are just expensive scenery, but your brain rots anyway. You lose your edge, you lose your network, you lose the ability to actually do the thing you were hired to do. They didn't just rent your time, they leased your potential and parked it in a garage. And think about the logistics. Maybe you moved for this job, you signed a lease in a city you hate, you put your kids in a new school, you told your partner, this is it, we made it. You bought the ergonomic chair, you bought into the culture, you drank the Kool-Aid out of a branded water bottle, all based on a handshake that was actually a rug pull. When they cut you loose, they don't refund the moving truck, they don't unsign the lease. The bank doesn't care that your employment was a stock market magic trick. The mortgage is still due on the 1st. This is the real cost of their growth theater. To them, a layoff is a spreadsheet adjustment, a necessary correction to improve margins by 0.2%. To you, it's an eviction notice. It's a panic attack in the grocery store aisle. It's explaining to your mom why you're back home. They gamble with monopoly money. You pay with your actual life. They treat the labor market like a casino, but they are the house, and the house doesn't care if the chips bleed. You feel used because you were used. You were a prop in a play you didn't know you were starring in. So stop looking for logic in the rejection email. Stop thinking you weren't good enough. You can't be good enough for a job that was never real, but you can spot the trap before you walk into it next time. So stop trying to fix the system. The machine is working exactly as intended. It just isn't built for you. You cannot shame a shark into being a vegetarian, and you cannot guilt a board of directors into caring about your rent. The only way to survive a rigged casino is to count cards. Kill the loyalty. Loyalty is a tax you pay on your own exploitation.
When they say, we are a family, check your wallet. That is usually code for mandatory unpaid overtime. Treat every job like a temporary gig, because to them, you are a temporary line item. Be a mercenary. Keep your resume updated on company time. Take the interview even when you are happy. Build a network that has nothing to do with your current boss. You need to be as cold and calculated as the algorithm that hired you. Do not unpack your emotional baggage in the office. Do not fall in love with the staged furniture. Take the money, do the job, but keep your running shoes under the desk. They are renting your skills, not buying your future. And the moment the quarterly projection dips, make sure you have already secured the next location. Because if you act like you are part of the foundation, you are just making it easier for them to demolish the building on